what we are hearing out there is that governors are not doing enough to ease the pain on Nigerians. I want you to tell Lagosians, use this opportunity to tell Lagosians your strategy to ease the pains and how far you have even gone at this time.
We're planning to build a storage facility, cold, dry facility that can help push, when we have things that push produce and product to our citizens, using that hub as a receiver, of large produce. So we're going to be having even trading, facilities there. This is the hub that will be doing things like the aggregator, ensure that all of the yam people that are coming from Benue, all of the tomato they can have offtake from there. They can know that once they're coming, there's somebody that will write the check. And that facility will be able to, the ones that will not go to the market because of perishability, and storage, will have the opportunity to stay in that facility. And we're happy that we took that decision 2 years ago. The facility will be ready, should be completed before the end of this year. And it's something that we're truly grateful for, that we took that decision. Out of that facility is to now dovetail into what we call the middle market. The middle market, one of it is what you saw or you are seeing at Iduro, which is where you can see, exchange of purchases. As we speak, we're building 4 concurrently. We're building as we speak, which will also be ready before the end of the year. On that 4, we're identifying 7 other locations that we also can build. It's still part of the plan. So we're building in Aja, we're building in Abule-Egba, we're building in Agege, and I think maybe another one in Kurudu. So 4 concurrently to be able to, recreate what we're seeing, in Iduro, and identify locations for additional 7. The last vertical on that is now we now begin to build corner stores, at various locations. Those are smaller, so that we can see the entire value chain, of food produce being available. You'll see fresh tomatoes, you'll see, fresh, pepper being, distributable in a very clean, hygienic environment, for our citizens. That's one. Secondly, right, on the meat value chain, I think the total countrywide consumption is under 4 million heads of cattle, per year, about 3.7. Lagos in itself consumes about half of that. We consume about 1.8 to 2 million heads of annually. So we need to be able to do G2G with some of our, northern states, and if time permits, even, other countries up north, and see how these things the fatting can be grown, and ensure that there are offtakes in Lagos. In the logistics that I'm talking about, those are some of the things that you see in the cold storage. The plan is for us to be able to fairly determine and see that we can plan for food security of Lagosians. So I want to, also look straight in the camera and say that indeed, we all have a responsibility to do a better job, of ourselves. As leaders, it's for us not to give excuses. It's for us to be able to solve, our social economic problem at this level, and be able, because what is the essence of governance? Provide security, make life better for the citizens, and give them, a sense of belief and hope. And that's why one of the things that we hope that we will be able to communicate, at this setting this morning. So as a government, we cannot be everything and everywhere, but we can provide and create avenues for others also to join us. There are some things that are directly under our control, which I'll talk about, but there are some things that I also can encourage other players to see us, to understand, and to work with us, so that the effect and the output and outcome will be felt, across board. The first thing that we have done, or we will be doing, from today going forward, is that we actually even want to start with our own public servants, and to say that given the challenge that we see now, can we even be creative and have a flexible working hour? And so immediately from next week, we're working out a plan where civil servants from level 0, from 1 to 14, will come to the office maximum 3 times a week, right? Not that any form of government will be shut down. It will be all calendarized and it will be on schedule. levels 15 to 17 will miss work a day. What are we seeking to achieve? We're seeking to achieve a process where people even slow down, right? Try and let's know that the pressure, right, we can reduce it, from the work environment that we find ourselves. We don't want a charged, public workforce. We don't want, an aggravated public workforce. Let them be able to see reasons and work remotely. We have a lot of, online, capabilities now that can also, you can send some of the response to some of the work you are doing for you, or can do it. And Lagos State has, such resources. So the first thing is to look at ourselves and be the first change, that we want. So we will be reducing the number of days that they'll come. You don't have to put pressure on the road. You don't have to be on the road for 3 hours trying to say you are trying to get home at night. So you can plan better. You also can reduce, your economic pressure. We have in the fleet of the public service over 120, buses, but it's not enough, right? So reduce it, let's plan out our time. Services will not be disrupted. Services will not be reduced, to our citizens. You want something for government, there will still be somebody that will do it for you. 2 other arms of government that are already doing this. In the health sector, they always have a calendarization. They always have, days off and the rest of, so they will continue in that line. Our teaching, sector will continue. Our students will continue to come for 5 days. We'll work out an additional transport support for our classroom teachers to ensure that, they keep the 5 days, because we know that these pupils have exam time and the rest of it. So we will continue, to keep that. So that will be the first baseline, for us to be able to reduce the pressure and the tension that we have amongst ourselves. The next line is also to look at our pensioners, right? How well have we fared, to reduce the burden of pension liabilities? I dare say that Lagos State is the first, to ensure that our pensioners, as we speak now, we're at a stage where it's only pensioners that have retired in 2023 that have not been given their full payment. Every other one has been cleared. And this year alone, in January, we cleared some outstanding pensioners. February, we've done over 4-5 billion already this year. Next month, I've given a commitment I will do another 4 billion. What that will now do is that within a month, of so of your retirement, you should be able to get your check. No other part of we believe in the country has anything close to that. So we have brought succor to people that have worked, for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years in the service of Lagos State to ensure that they will earn, their pensions, as at when due, and they can do whatever they want, with their resources. That's on our public sector, the local government, the health sector, the teaching service is across board. I write and ensure that nobody's left behind. Now going to our to our citizens, we started something last year from August, where we had a 50% reduction on all public transportation, right? It was reduced, and stopped towards the end of the year when, things resumed back, But now I think transport cost is also a major pain that our citizens are. So almost immediately from this weekend, we're throwing back a 25% reduction on all public transportation. But we're working with the various unions to ensure that we also can support them. But on our BRT, on our trains, on our ferry services, you are going to begin to enjoy that almost immediately from this weekend. I've given instructions, and so they are working on the logistics for that. On the food palliatives, which is one of the ways in which we also can intervene, right? As we speak, I'm expecting over 100 trailers of rice coming, up north. And I will explain what is happening to our own, meal in a short while, And so we're doing this at 3 levels. We're doing a food purchase and redistribution that will cover about 300,000 households, not just individual household, that will have 10 kg rice, 5 kg gari, 5 kg beans, and have other small things like tomato and the rest of it in a combo bag, right? The procurement of that started. It will just be a logistics of how to package and distribution that will follow. That's one level, one layer of direct procurement of rice, stable rice, beans, gari, and some small, pepper and tomato in one bulk. The next level will be utilizing our experience during COVID. we're going to be opening, what we call Sunday markets in about 42 markets in Lagos. Sunday market. What you would see in those markets, is the same sort of like, stable, food item. But this time, you'll be buying at a reduced cost. We're going to cap what you can buy at not more than 25,000, and I'll be giving you a 25% rebate immediately there. So we have started that at our middle market in Ijoro, which you've all seen, but we're taking it to 42 identified markets in Lagos. We're not giving you the opportunity to come and want to buy worth of 100,000. That means Ruben, you have the capacity. But somebody that wants to buy 10,000, 15,000, which are the people that want to take out of the poverty line, we will give you a discount, an immediate discount of about 25. You will get that rebate. And you are not just buying one item, you are buying, a combination of, staples, and you will get a relief immediately. So that Sunday market will happen for the next 4 or 5 Sundays, and we'll continue to review. So we will make all the logistics available, all the food items will be at this. We're working with the local government, with the leaders of the market. We've identified and we'll publish, all these things. We are now going to do what we call, the soup bowl, the soup kitchen. We did it also during COVID. We want to identify mama puts, caterers that are in your do, and we want to be able to feed between 1,000 and 1,500 in every local government per day, at the first instance for the next, 30 to 60 days. So let's watch out the logistics. We are identifying, the caterers already. Funds will be sent to them, and they will have vouchers so that people just walk in, and just give them something, to eat, one a day, and let's just continue, on that. The whole idea around this is that one of the verticals will reach you in one form or the other. So that's regarding food. No, I've not finished. On the health sector, right, we also realize that. So some people's, their problem is not the dairy or the rice. There's just some problem. I mean, I told you a woman gave birth on the road yesterday. Why should that, be a case? Because it could be pressure, right? So immediately, where all our 31 general hospitals will be given free child delivery. Either during normal birth or cesarean birth, we will take up the cost so that we reduce the pressure, on our people almost immediately. We are also working with them to reduce the cost of some particular types of drugs, hypertension, diabetes, and we can give a rebate at our hospitals. We can give a rebate. So we don't want that to be thrown out, So we're planning to give, to work out with the hospital and give, a rebate on that. Our 6 health districts, we have 6, we are the only ones that have that in the country, by the way. We have 6 health districts, which are headed by permanent secretary. Over the next 3 months, they'll be doing what we call the health mission, twice a week. On an health mission, they'll put up the canopy, doctors will be there, nurses will be there. People will just come in, about 1,000 people, 2,000 people will come and get a health check. Maybe you're diabetic, you're hypertensive, they check your blood pressure, and they will give you medicines, based on what it is that they realize, is wrong with them. And maybe some eye, testing. I'll check if we have, enough of that to go around. So all that will also go around concurrently. We looked at education as well. Out of school children, what are some of the challenges? They said they asked parents to show evidence of a tax payment of about 8,000. Let's remove that. Let's get parents to bring their pupils back to school without necessarily needing that burden. That's on the education sector, to enter, and to ensure that they can bring, their kids, back to school. So you can see that, we're cutting the interventions, across various sectors. We're cutting it in health, in education, in transportation, in agriculture. So we believe that in one form or the other, you will have succor. You will have something that you can take back, and you see that this government is working with you. To answer the question around the rice mill, so the challenge that we have is that is the biggest mill in the country. We're challenged by feedstock. It's paddy. We have 2 aggregators, FX, and Lagos Commodity Exchange that we've given commitment to look for paddy for us. One of the things that has happened is that paddy is not easily growable in the southern part of the country. We have farmland in Ogun State. We have farmland in Osun State. We have the small ones in Lagos. But it cannot meet up with the size and the capacity of the mill, right? And one of the things that we realized that, even up north, there are a few issues around paddy. So for our mill, we're going to be having a conversation with the Minister for Transport and with the federal government. If they can permit us, to do a one-off, importation of paddy, the mill that we have there can take 2 vessels. They have enough service that will take 2 vessels of paddy. And that can take us for 8 months to 9 months production of close to 2 million bags of 50 kg. So if we have that exemption, so that we can use that, to encourage the rice farmers, to still, because what we hear is the challenges of people not going back to the market, not going back to their farms on time, and so we cannot get, enough. In fact, to say to you, sir, some of the parties that we're expecting from the north, we even have to write to some of my colleague governors for them to give us passage to be able to drive down this paddy. Because the conversation is like some are being smuggled out or some. We don't want to listen to that. But it's a long journey, 800 kilometers, 1,000 to drive down, and because we're waiting. It's not a mill where you can kickstart, stop. If you're going to run in that ground. So we need to have, the silos there are 16 massive silos of almost 32,000 metric tons. 2 vessels of paddy can fill up that place. And we will be able, to, on a very large scale, be able to populate, the citizens, with stable, food like rice. So we will be pursuing that opportunity, with the federal government, right? And I'm also using it, I'm speaking publicly. If there's any paddy aggregator or any paddy rice that they know that they can send us down, we're willing to buy. Our funds are out there, to buy this paddy. So in a medium to short term, these are some of our solutions at ensuring that we can, in all of the verticals, we can touch, our citizens in one form or the other.